It's been a while since Iowa football fans could have accurately made the claim that the linebacker room was sort of young. But next year, after 2025, the room looks fairly young unless Iowa does some work in the portal. They've got talent. They got young guys, former four-star recruits. Iowa added another one last month in a legacy recruit. We're going to talk about Julian Manson here in a minute, but that's the topic for today's conversation. Will he stay at linebacker, and will that room need more pieces to deal with the losses that are coming once again following 2025? We'll talk about it all in just a second, but first, a big thank you to Under the Kitchen, Randy Engel, his terrific, authentic Hawkeye artwork. He's going to be over in Coralville at Lantern Park Hy-Vee coming up in August. I've talked about that. August 17th, 3 to 4 p.m., live signings of these Hawkeye prints from none other than Stephen Buchanan, Angelo Ferrari. Much more coming from Randy and his great artwork down in Mitchellville. You can check out all his stuff online, facebook.com, and just search Under the Kitchen. You can also visit his website. That is underthekitchen.square.site. We appreciate his sponsorship for today's video, which is all about Julian Manson, who committed to Iowa last month, made it official. I don't know how much doubt there ever was that this young man was going to be a Hawkeye. His father, former Iowa quarterback Jason Manson, who has since been on the staff. He is currently the director of player development for Kirk Ferentz. So no doubt Julian had a guy throwing him passes as he was growing up, a pretty darn good passer in his own right. And that shows up on tape. You watch this young man. He's a terrific athlete, and that makes sense. He obviously comes from a very gifted family as it relates to athleticism. But he's an excellent receiver. I mean, he's got really good hands. You see him line up just about everywhere. You see him as an inline guy. You see him as a wideout. On the defensive side, he's running as a linebacker. You see him occasionally as an edge guy. In general, though, I think he's projected more as a linebacker than anything else. I'll provide my thoughts on that in just a little bit. But he's got really good hands. He's a good tackler, great eye for the ball. My one concern when watching him on tape, and it may not be anything, it appears to me that he may play a bit upright. And we see that at times with young guys, especially when you get to that 6'3", 6'4" height, which it sounds like Julian Manson is right about there, which is taller into the spectrum for linebackers. Jack Campbell was sort of an anomaly at 6'5" when he played at Iowa, but typically you're going to look at guys around the 6'2", 6'3" range. And so he's hovering in that range. He's got another year of high school in front of him, so it'll be interesting to see if he grows anymore. But it does appear to me on tape, watching his film, that at times on the defensive side, he plays a bit too upright. But, man, what do I know? I'm just kind of combing through highlight film like everybody else here. But obviously a really good ad. All the services like him. He's listed at 6'4", 215 pounds. He had offers from Kansas State, Minnesota, Miami, Florida, Arizona. Sounds like he did take a visit to K-State. Rivals has him as their number one player in the state of Iowa in 2026 and top 100 nationally. Their sixth best linebacker in the entire class. That is something. On3 also had him top 100, although they've since combined with Rivals with their recruiting. So as I've talked about in recent episodes, there have been discrepancies, pretty significant discrepancies between the big services. By the way, ESPN has him as a 4-star, as does the 247 Sports Composite and the Rivals industry ranking. Junior year stats, he totaled 86.5 tackles, 1.5 for loss. His offensive stats, 52 catches, 867 yards, 13 touchdowns. And here's what I'll say. I mean, that room, I alluded to it at the forefront of this video. That room's going to be pretty young once Carson Shire exits, Jaden Harrell, etc. And, Jackson Rexroth's another guy who's kind of been working in as sort of a hybrid type of linebacker. I'm going to be intrigued to see who emerges next year. It's been a while since we could have called this unit young. I mean, obviously it helped when you could go out to Virginia in the transfer portal and grab a Nick Jackson. You have a Jay Higgins that just patiently waited his turn through the Jack Campbell, Seth Benson era. But think about how long they've been loaded there at linebacker, and they may be loaded after this season. What's going to be interesting is to see how guys like Derek Weisskopf progresses. Preston Reese is another one. And then you look at a couple of guys. Kason Thomas just committed to Iowa. Siouxland kid, he's a 4-star linebacker along with Julian Manson. That's assuming he stays at linebacker. I'll tell you what, and I'm certainly not an expert on projecting forward for position, but I watch him on tape and I'm like, man, he looks like he could develop into a pretty good tight end, especially if he grows maybe another inch. I don't know that he needs another inch. If he's truly close to 6'4", He's got good speed and excellent hands. And it's not like we haven't seen defensive players transition to the offensive side of the ball, specifically to tight end. I don't want to say there's shades of Noah Fant here in this video, but hey, I think he's got some of that natural athleticism. And like I said, he's probably caught a ton of really good balls from his dad, who was a collegiate quarterback at Iowa. So congratulations to the Manson family. I am assuming Kirk, Seth Wallace, and company felt pretty good about this all along, but this was he's a really good prospect. It's obvious some of these major schools still made a push for him, and I'm sure schools like Nebraska, Iowa State, they probably just didn't waste resources and assets and time because they figured he was coming to Iowa. That typically happens with legacy kids, especially when you have a guy whose dad is on the coaching staff. So that's exceptional as well, not just that he played at Iowa. So that's it. That's what I wanted to talk about today. He hails from Iowa City. He's been playing in Iowa City because he's, of course, his dad's employed by the university still. Iowa City West standout. So Julian Manson's a Hawkeye, folks. We have a very special, cool show. I don't know how else to say it. Cool show coming up Saturday. Myself and, drumroll please, Mr. Tyler Kluver of the Washed Up Walk-Ons. This will be a fun one. Bit of a backstory with him and I. We grew up in the same area, went to the same high school, knew each other in high school. So it's going to be fun to reunite with Tyler. He's doing great things over at Washed Up Walk-Ons. He's got his own memories from being a long snapper at Iowa. So we are going to have a fun time. Saturday night, 8 p.m. Central Time, myself and Tyler Kluver for Hawkeye Hangout Live following Big Ten Media Days. We will talk to you Saturday night.